a calendar believed in only by those subservient to the circle. I found a single plane folded into the outer rim of the 4 seasons, one that has not yet been registered by anyone's senses. It is a climate in which not the wind, but the contours themselves shift. The edges cut through space like blades, and the corners stand tall as a protest against time. There, spring does not simply sprout. Rather, the very concept of sprouting is compressed into a square. Summer is not combustion. Rather, the perception of heat severs its own metaphor. Autumn rejects the falling of leaves, and only the verb to end is geometrically stripped away. Winter does not fall silent. Only in the place where all these seasons intersect does the 5th season quietly emerge. In this season, color does not exist. Birds do not fly. Trees do not grow. Trunks do not consist of growth rings, but layer fault lines of memory traveling backward from the future. And leaves do not perform photosynthesis, but breathe undefined mathematics. Here, shadows do not obey objects. Shadows possess the original form, and the physical body exists belatedly as their projection. In other words, existence is not a cause, but an afterimage. It reduces the smooth lie that is the world to the evidence of corners. Circular thought breeds empathy. Straight lines breed logic, but only the square maintains contradiction at equal distances along all 4 of its sides. Therefore, the 5th season is not a climate that nurtures life, but a mechanism that causes cognition itself to shed its skin. I touched that corner with my fingertip. No blood flowed. The 4 seasons are not a cycle of nature. They are the most beautiful closed curve drawn by comprehensibility to reassure itself. There, a single square is a blade, a door, a tombstone, and a birth, quietly continuing to sever the universe. It is the moment when the 4 vertices simultaneously reject all the tolerance that the circle has permitted. Through the mercy of the cycle, every end already contained its own beginning. A declaration of war against the season known as the square, a figure with equal sides, equally sharp corners, and no curvature born of compromise. The 4 seasons are a system. A system is a term for that which is complete only within itself. The 4 terms, spring, summer, autumn, and winter, constitute a circular logic that requires no external elements by defining one another. A season that exists within the axiomatic system of the 4 seasons, yet cannot be deduced from that system itself. A season as pure exhaustion, tearing through the economy of utility. Why does a 5th season arrive, uninvited, in a calendar that should be sufficient with just 4? It is not a lack, it is an excess. A season that causes the system to convulse from within, not by not existing, but by existing too much. Sharpness is the action of separating one thing from another. But what the sharpness of a square cuts through is not space, but the very continuity of time itself. The 4 right angles sever this blow 4 times. This season, too, must be derived from axioms to theorems with emotions set aside. Modes can exist infinitely. The season as a 5th mode is not logically prohibited. What the 5th season proves is the existence of a sharp fissure running through its very essence. The repetition of the 4 seasons returns with the same face every year. But the 5th season is the sole difference running right through the heart of this repetition. The seasons no longer cycle. As a verdict called square, they descend vertically just once. There is a season when sharp squares fall from the sky. The corners cut out time, and the sides rearrange memories. Light bends into straight lines, and shadows fit into squares. People chew on round words and swallow angular truths. The wind moves quietly, as if turning the corner of a page, and leaves fall through square holes. The sound of their fall is as regular as a metronome, transforming heartbeats into geometry. Memories are rearranged like tiles, and the past is measured by the length of a side. Love is spoken of in angles, and partings end at right angles. The fifth season does not arrive. Within that season, the predicate arrival loses its own cause. It is not a new segment added to the timeline, but a negative boundary that is revealed only when the phase of time folds in on its own domain. The four seasons do not adjoin one another. The very perception that they appear to adjoin is the world's greatest perspective. Only when that illusion reaches a critical point does the fifth season, formed of sharp squares, invade not from space, but from the side of the memory of a time when space did not yet exist. If the circle is the myth of continuity, then the square is the logical organ through which discontinuity itself has attained self-preservation. The four sides possess no length,